There's a song on the first record, All I Want to Do Is Rock, and it goes like... And on the second record, you just go... And it's just more gentle, and that's As You Are. The two songs go like... They do the same thing, but it's just one's heavy and one's light.
Everything's open, nothing is set in stone. Rivers turn to ocean, oceans tide you home.
Fran, we always say second album is the hardest album for a band.
Yeah.
How hard was it to create this album?
I think every song's difficult to write. As soon as you write one song, I started writing when I was about 16, so when I got to about 23 I wrote my first sort of proper song where I felt, whoa, that's different. It was called All I Want to Do Is Rock, and it kind of finished itself. It was 20 minutes in the whole writing of it, and I knew how it would sound and everything. And as soon as you do that, each song after that gets harder to do, because you're going, oh my god, I've got to do it better. And they say in the business, you're only as good as your last song. So it just gets harder and harder. So the albums don't really concern me as far as difficulty go, because we love being in the studio. You know, it's just great. And so the more we go into studios, the better you become at working in a studio. Yeah. And the less you need to do. And we played 250 shows
after releasing Good Feeling, the first album, we did about 250 shows in 18 months or so. And so once you've done that, you go back into the studio and you're just a bit better, you know. So hopefully we'll keep doing that.
Now, after releasing the first album, do you have to live up to something?
Nah, I don't think so. I think once you get past the first record, you're like, all right, we've got our first album under the belt and we can move on now, and the pressure is kind of off. But as I said, the pressure's only as much as you make it yourself. We're lucky enough in the UK to have a record company who trust us enough to let us do what we want to do and don't step in and sort of go, no, you can't do that, or stop it, or whatever. So just let us.
There's no outside pressure. It's just kind of making up. We want to kind of keep doing better things.
Still, if I listen to the first album, Good Feeling,
yeah,
and now this one, The Man Who, there's a big difference.
There is,
well, especially when it comes to sound.
I know. Well, you've got to consider that the first album was recorded in 4 days with guitars. I mean, there's a song on the first record, All I Want to Do Is Rock. Can't find my plectrum. So anyway, and it goes like really heavy, and it's dead lit. And on the second record, you just go, and it's just more gentle, and that's As You Are. It's the same, and the two songs go like, they do the same thing, but it's just one's heavy and one's light. And it's the matter of, we were like, the first record to us, I think, was going into a party and just going in and going, whoa, hello, whoa, making loads of noise. And as the record went on, Good Feeling, towards the end, it really calmed down, started getting dead mellow, more than us, and falling down, and funny thing. And I think if you stick The Man Who onto the end of Good Feeling, it just goes naturally into
progression, I suppose.
For instance, Writing to Reach You, the first song on The Man Who, was written half an hour before the second song on Good Feeling. It's just as a writer, songwriter, where you just collect songs, you try and write as many as possible, and you think, well, this will go as a collection of songs well together.
And both albums were recorded the same way. It was like just the four of us playing in a room. You know, there's kind of, it was just the fact that we had more time this time to kind of do something and then go away, have a cup of tea, think about it and listen to it and go, well, that's not right, or that's so right.
So undo all
first album was recorded in 4 days, and the last one in 6 months.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was spread over 6 months. It was actually only kind of 6 weeks spread over that 6 months because, I mean, we were working with Nigel, who was working with all these people at R.E.M., Beck and Pavement and loads of people, so we were kind of grabbing time off him. Like that, we'll have a week there and 2 weeks there, and
it was coming down to like 3 or 4 days. At points, like finding a little bit of time, and gradually we managed to get the album sort of done. But it was really nice doing it because
it was really enjoyable. The whole thing was really pretty enjoyable because the relationships in the studio were brilliant, and I think if you've got that kind of harmony at source with the band and the producer, the personal relationships are good. Then when it kind of goes out into the world.
Now give me one example of the best moment of those personal relationships on this album.
Driftwood.
Yeah.
It was we're coming out of the studio and I said, right, come on Nigel, give us some advice here. I mean, what would you say to do in future, you know, when because we're coming to the end of the record. And he said, don't make demos, just forget it. And I was like, that's a bit silly because, you know, if you do demos you can work out your parts and get it all together. And he's like, well, but yeah, if you do demos you'll get a demo and it's really, really good. And so when you come to do the album track in the studio you might not get the same magic.
You're just going to replicate it, you know.
You might be chasing something that's just unchaseable because magic's invisible and you can't see it, but you can hear it somehow. And we've done that with a couple of songs. Sometimes you do the first one and it's a demo and then you try to record it and it's just like, why can't we get that? So he said don't do demos. So with Driftwood we just went into the studio like we are here and sort of worked it up like it was like preparing a cake. You know, you got the ingredients and you put it all together and you stirred it up and then you put it in the baking tray and put all the stuff in, opened the cooker, and the cooker's the studio, and then we shoved it in the cooker, turned the gas on, and it came out like on the album.
A lovely cake.
Aye, and the thing is, Driftwood on the album is a demo, but it's just a sophisticated demo.
Surprising moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really good.
And I mean, the way the album sounds is a lot of that's down to Nigel because he's really talented. He's a really gifted guy.
Driftwood floating underwater, breaking into pieces. Just driftwood, hollow and of no.
The album is called The Man Who, and it refers to the title of a book by Oliver Sacks. Is there anything in the book that's on the album as well? I mean, a certain feeling, or is it just a title?
I never read the book.
It's just because when Good Feeling came out, the British press called us schizophrenic. They were like, oh, they don't know what they are. They can't do a song like Happy. There was a song called Happy in the first album, and a song called Falling Down. You know, and it was like, oh, they don't know what they are. They can't do both of these things. And we're like, well, you can. You know, it's like nobody's 100% happy or 100% sad. So we got a bit kind of hacked off with that, a bit annoyed about getting called schizophrenic and labelled like that. And so when it came to titling this record, we just thought, oh, well,
we'll embrace it.
We'll embrace it.
We call the album The Man Who.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you somewhere in Holland, in Amsterdam.
Can't wait.
Paradise on Milky Way, and I thank you very much for being here.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure. Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Ta.
Friend. Ta is
Thank you.
Swedish for
tack.
Thanks.
Manga tack.
Okay.
Manga thanks.
Thanks very much.
You've been drifting far.